Can you walk through US payroll taxes in detail and who is required to pay US payroll tax?
So that's a good question. I think the first thing that we'll kind of harken back to is earlier when we set up the framing of an LLC versus a C Corp, and we talked about having W-2 employees as an LLC. That is really where payroll taxes are going to come into play. So if you have a full-time employee, you're going to have to register for payroll in the state in which they live. So, for me, I live in Texas. So you'd have to register for payroll taxes in Texas, and you're going to have to pay federal payroll taxes. You're going to have to pay, Social Security tax, Medicare tax, just some things that maybe you're not so familiar with if you live outside the US, but something that you certainly have at least heard of if you live in the US. And those are federal payroll taxes. Now, each state also has its own set of either income or payroll taxes that you may have to pay. And what I tell people is that the best way to deal with those is to work with a software provider. So personally, we use Gusto. I don't know at Bookmate. I don't know what you guys use. At
Gusto
doola.
as well.
Gusto as well. Okay, well then that's 2 votes for Gusto. But that is a way that you can kind of automate the collection of payroll taxes and the administration of them by using a software program. But just know that if you do hire full-time people in the US, you will be responsible for paying payroll taxes that you can set up a software platform to help you with the automated collection and payment of them. And a company like us, that's something that we help people with all the time. Now, if you have foreign employees, or let's say you're in the situation where you own a C Corp and you want to pay yourself on payroll, well, that can be different because like I just said, the US has federal payroll taxes, state payroll taxes. I know them because we work in the US and, I've lived in the US, so I'm used to seeing those things coming out of checks, right? But, do I know what the counterparts to those taxes are in the EU, in India, in every country in South America or in Canada? I mean, look, there's a lot of countries out there. So what the laws may be in the particular country in which you live and work, or in which maybe you have employees, that's unclear. Each country can be different. So that's something to think about when you're hiring abroad too. More than just using a platform like, Fiverr or Upwork or something to get, quick contractor job done, but really when you're going to be hiring somebody full-time to help grow your business, for the long term, right? Payroll is something that can be complicated, and there are software platforms that can help you hire outside the US too. And I know that you guys are familiar with those as well, but there are platforms that can help you automate the collection and payment of taxes outside the US as well. But it's something that you should put some time and thought into before you start really putting the pedal to the metal on domestic or international hiring.